We're breaking down sugar to make all of these byproducts that are very beneficial and very healthy for our digestive system. So it's no surprise why so many people who are having lots of digestive issues are now seeking out fermented foods and drinks. Okay, so what are some examples of foods and drinks? Pickles, I mentioned, sauerkraut, salami. If it's properly made salami, meats and fish can be fermented. Many, many different cultures across the globe ferment meat and fish. In France and in Italy, salami is a fermented food, right? That's why it has that little white bloom on the outside. That's a mold and yeast that grows on the outside to preserve that. So it's really a preservation process, right? When we take a cabbage, if we just had a cabbage there and shredded it and didn't put salt on it, it would rot. But when we put salt on it and pound the juice out and cover that vegetable with the juice, all of a sudden, it preserves itself. Fermentation has been happening on our planet for 6,000 years. And this was the ultimate way to preserve foods for people who lived in colder environments and they didn't have fresh fruits and vegetables in the wintertime. So in the fall, they would harvest a lot more than they could eat. They would preserve it, and they would have those fruits and vegetables for the winter months. Okay, so this used to be how preservation of food was done. Now, why did it go away? Even in cultures like Korea, there's a lot less where kimchis are from. In Japan, where the tsukemono pickles, a lot less of that is being done. Who has an idea of why fermentation went away for a while? A refrigerator, yes. Okay, so refrigerators are the reason and the main reason why we didn't have to preserve with fermentation anymore. So why would you go through this long process, shredding cabbage, salt, pounding, squashing, getting the juice out, preserving it for a week or two or a month, putting it in a jar, setting it aside? No, you can just put everything in the fridge now, right? It's so easy. Does it still rot in the fridge? Yeah, but it's way slower. So fermentation went away, unfortunately, because of refrigeration. And now it's coming back because we have the digestive system of Americans is just in a horrible, horrible state, so people are coming back to it. Okay, so if we look at that list of foods there, pickles and sauerkraut, those are from Germany, salami from France and Italy, ripened cheese from France, natto is a fermented soybean that is super, super high in K2. If you guys are unaware of the K2 nutrient, you should look into that and make sure your patients are all having lots of K2 every day. Kimchi from Korea, natto is actually from Japan, kimchi from Korea. Sourdough bread, obviously from Italy and France again. So there's a lot of things that you eat on a daily basis. They may not be fermented because there's the cheap versions too. It doesn't really have any starter. But truly fermented sourdough bread, obviously all of the gluten, it's broken down, it's easier to digest. So those are things that you can swap out too for what you're currently eating. Kefir, milk kefir. Has anyone heard of that? Those little cottage cheese looking little grains. Ferments milk, right? Makes it way more digestible. So all of these foods, once they're fermented, not only are they preserved, but they're way more digestible by our system. And then vinegar. Vinegar has been around for 8,000 years. And it is in itself a preservation food. It preserves other things. And it's made in a very, very similar way to kombucha, which is now top of the list on the fermented drinks. So kombucha is gaining in popularity. The main reason that it is a probiotic drink, and it's another way to get a daily dose of probiotics into your system. Now, it can't really compare to the foods, but it is also a really great trade out if you're drinking sodas or you have patients that are drinking sodas and they're looking for some, when I say sodas, I mean like Coke, Pepsi, Sprite, even Canada Dry or whatever, you know, any of those high sugar drinks that your patients may be drinking, this is a great trade out because it's a low sugar soda, meaning that it is fermented and it has bubbles. Real ginger ale is from fermented ginger root. Cubes of ginger root with sugar and water, and you let that sit there for a few weeks, you get a bubbly wort, a little ginger wort, and you can make ginger soda with that.